Boyfriend chatted on me with my best friend for months, then she told me she loves him. I lost them both and my trust in everyone. I've been with my boyfriend, let's call him Jake, for 3 years. We met in college, and he's always been my rock, or so I thought. It all started about a month ago when I noticed Jake acting off. He'd been distant, always on his phone, and making excuses to stay late at work. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe he was stressed or going through something. But then there was my best friend, Jessica. She's been my ride or die since high school. We've been through everything together. Breakups, family drama, you name it. Jessica had been acting weird too. She'd cancel plans last minute, and when we did hang out, she seemed distracted. I chalked it up to her new job, but something felt wrong. It was subtle at first. Her hesitating before answering simple questions, avoiding eye contact, and even her texting habits had changed. She used to text me all the time, but now she was slow to respond, sometimes even ignoring me for hours. Last week, I decided to trust my gut. I know some people might judge me for this, but I went through Jake's phone. I'd never done that before, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was up. I waited until he was asleep, heart pounding in my chest as I unlocked his phone. And there it was, texts between him and Jessica. Flirty, intimate, betrayal in plain black and white. My hands trembled as I scrolled through months of conversations, filled with inside jokes I wasn't a part of, plans to meet up in secret, and worst of all, confessions of love. My heart sank. I felt like I was going to be sick. Every word I read chipped away at the trust I had in both of them. It wasn't just shading, it was an entire relationship behind my back. I confronted Jake immediately. At first he denied it, but when I showed him the texts, he broke down. He admitted they'd been seeing each other for months. Months. He said it just happened and that he never meant to hurt me. Classic, right? He claimed he loved me, that he didn't want to lose me, but how could I believe a single word he said after what I had just read? But here's where it gets worse. I called Jessica, screaming and crying, demanding an explanation. She didn't even try to deny it. Instead, she said something that shattered me even more. I'm sorry, but I think I'm in love with him. I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. My boyfriend and my best friend, the two people I trusted most, had been lying to my face for months. I kicked Jake out that night, and I haven't spoken to Jessica since. The hardest part is loneliness. I feel like I've lost not just a partner, but a piece of myself. I keep replaying every moment, wondering how I didn't see it sooner. Was I blind? Was I too trusting? I go over our past conversations, searching for any sign that might have tipped me off. I remember the times Jessica would mention Jake in passing, the way she would suddenly leave when he arrived, or how Jake would hesitate when I suggested we invite her over. I'm trying to pick up the pieces, but it's hard. I've been leaning on my family and a few other friends, but it's not the same. I feel like I'll never be able to trust anyone again. How do you move forward when the people you trusted the most betray you so completely? What hurts the most is the realization that they must have talked about me behind my back. Did they laugh at my obliviousness? Did they justify their actions to each other? Did they ever feel guilty at all? I can't stop thinking about all the times Jessica comforted me after an argument with Jake, all the times she pretended to be my support system while secretly being with him. Since this happened, Jessica has been trying to reach out. She sent a long text apologizing, saying she never meant to hurt me and that she never planned for this to happen. But how does something like this just happen? You don't accidentally betray your best friend. You make choices, and she made hers. Jake, on the other hand, has been silent. Not a single text or call since I kicked him out. I guess that tells me everything I need to know. Maybe he never loved me in the first place. I've started therapy because, honestly, I don't know how to process this on my own. My therapist says betrayal trauma is real, that I need to let myself grieve. But it's so hard. I feel like I've lost my entire foundation. My relationship, my best friend, my sense of security. It's all gone. I've been debating whether to expose them. A part of me wants to tell everyone what they did, to make sure no one else trusts them the way I did. But another part of me wonders if that would even help. Would it make me feel better, or just prolong my pain? Right now, I'm just trying to survive one day at a time. I moved out of the apartment Jake and I shared because I couldn't stand being surrounded by our memories. I've cut off mutual friends who knew about their affair and said nothing. It's lonely, but I'd rather be alone than surrounded by fake friends. I don't know what I'm looking for here. Maybe just some reassurance that I'll get through this. Has anyone else been through something like this? How do you even begin to move on?